Hello and welcome to News Channel Nebraska. My name is Luke Scudera. Thanks for joining us here on NCN, and let's get you some news today. The Kearney Police Department is standing behind its officers' actions during a controversial arrest at the Buffalo County Fair. A news release says two officers placed 19-year-old Isaac Whiteface of Kearney in handcuffs for being in a fight. The release says he resisted and spit in the face of one of the officers. That officer then held Whiteface down by placing a hand on his shoulder and a hand on his face to prevent him from spitting. The officer eventually put both hands on the subject's face, turning him towards the ground. Some online commenters were critical of the officer after watching a 5-second video of the incident on social media. Police Chief Brian Waugh says the incident went through several layers of review and was deemed an appropriate use of force. Whiteface faces 5 criminal charges. Troopers with the Nebraska State Patrol found 77 pounds of suspected methamphetamine and arrested 2 people during a traffic stop on Saturday near York on Interstate 80. The driver, 28-year-old Rosita Vizcarra, and passenger, 26-year-old Julio Garcia Guerrero, both of Omaha, were arrested for possession of meth and possession with intent to deliver. At just after 9 in the morning, a trooper stopped a Hyundai Sonata for speeding on I-80. During the traffic stop, the trooper found out the vehicle was not insured. Prior to towing the vehicle, troopers took stock of its contents and discovered numerous bags of suspected meth. The total weight of the bags was 77 pounds. Both were lodged in York County Jail. A parachute malfunction over the weekend leaves a skydiver severely injured in southeast Nebraska. Cass County Sheriff's Office says it happened just after 2 o'clock on Saturday at the Lincoln Sport Parachute Club, east of Weeping Water, about 50 minutes from Lincoln. A 41-year-old man from Kansas City was about 20 feet in the air before his parachute buckled, sending him hitting a car, then the ground. He was taken to the hospital for severe injuries, but the sheriff's office say he is expected to make a full recovery. And a trial that has taken almost a year has finally drawn to a conclusion. 33-year-old Jeffrey Stewart has pleaded no contest in Madison County. The former North Fork area transit manager was charged with theft by unlawful taking of $5,000 or more and unauthorized use of a financial transaction device. By pleading no contest, the charge of unauthorized use of a transaction device will replace Stewart's theft charge. The second charge was also amended to obstructing government operations. Stewart was found guilty on both charges. His sentencing is scheduled for September 12th in the Madison District Courtroom. And the National Weather Service in Omaha has updated the wind rating for the tornado that hit the Omaha metro area on April 26th. Originally, the tornado, which caused extensive damage in Elkhorn, Bennington, and Blair, was estimated to have peak wind speeds of around 165 miles an hour. After a review, it was determined that the wind speeds likely reached 170. This 5-mile-an-hour adjustment has upgraded the tornado's rating from a high-end EF3 to an EF4. The National Weather Service made this determination by comparing the damage to similar tornadoes, conducting forensic analysis, and reviewing new high-resolution aerial imagery. The last EF4 tornado recorded in Nebraska occurred on June 16, 2014, when 4 EF4 tornadoes struck Pilger and nearby areas. And Governor Jim Pillen requested disaster declaration from President Joe Biden. This was for the damage caused by those series of storms throughout the state. Officials say the declaration freed up state funds and resources to help counties impacted by Nebraska's recent string of severe weather. At the same time, officials say Governor Pillen requested an extension, which was accepted to allow state and federal managers time to assess the damage done. And first-time homebuyers are facing a crisis. A new poll saying they don't believe they'll ever own a home. This, as a new poll says, an average starter home costs $1 million. Brian Abel is breaking down the data and how these prices happened.
We got an affordability crisis across the country.
A staggering statistic. In 237 cities in the United States, it will cost you at least $1 million to own a starter home, according to Zillow, defined as a home in the lowest third of values in that market.
Homes that should be easily accessible to renters trying to get on the lowest rung of the housing ladder.
Nearly half of those cities, 117 of them, are in California alone.
Those are markets close to big job centers on the coasts, near the ocean, near lakes and mountains, right? markets that tend to attract a lot of people.
Zillow economist Orphe DeFungi says supply and demand is playing a big role in the skyrocketing prices. When mortgage rates doubled back in 2022, competition for smaller homes heated up, pushing up the price. But DeFungi says good news may be on the way for first-time buyers, with more homes for sale, price cuts on the rise, a potential interest rate cut soon, and buyers having more time to weigh options as homes stay on the market longer. His advice? Talk to a real estate agent.
Having an agent find the homes within the locality, the area that will fit within your budget is really the best way to tackle the home buying process today.
In Washington, Brian Abel reporting.
After Nebraska's top officials defied state laws on felony voters' rights, the ACLU is now suing the state of Nebraska. The ACLU filed the lawsuit Monday on behalf of 3 Nebraskans who would be denied the right to vote. This after Secretary of State Bob Evnen told county officials to not allow those with felony convictions to register to vote in November's general election. His decision came down after an opinion by State Attorney General Mike Hilgers, one that says only the State Board of Pardons can restore voting rights through a pardon. A board made up of Governor Jim Pillen, Hilgers, and Evnen. Evnen denies the opinion, trying to disenfranchise a segment of voters, and says his actions are geared to follow the Nebraska Constitution. And hundreds of people are gathering in the Valentine area this week, not just because of the sandhill scenery, but to gaze up at the stars. The Nebraska Star Party started Sunday and lasts through Friday. NCN's Casey Wandenberg takes us to the event where the night sky is the bright attraction.
Plage. That's
From Virginia to Illinois and Idaho,
no, those aren't flares, those are prominences.
hundreds of people from all over the country
Some brighter regions.
are gathering at Merritt Reservoir near Valentine for the Nebraska Star Party.
These are some of the darkest skies on the planet. It's wonderful.
In fact, Merritt is certified as an international dark sky park because of its lack of light pollution.
We need dark skies to have contrast to see faint galaxies and things.
Velo Tabor might just take home the prize for the longest journey.
I'm an astronomer from Australia, and I just want to come and see the northern sky.
Yeah, they are just.
But lots of prominences.
While Tabor is modest about his celestial credentials, his friend from Michigan
He didn't give you the whole story.
points out that Tabor is a star when it comes to the skies.
He's a retired astrophysicist. He's a comet hunter that has discovered 3 comets and have them named after him. And in the process of discovering those comets, he wrote papers on a specific type of variable star.
But you don't have to be an astronomy expert to come to this event. There are even classes aimed at beginners.
We have a large contingency of our people that show up that do, well, now it's called astroimaging, astrophotography.
Take a look at some of attendee Jason Pellegrini's work: the stunning Butterfly Nebula, the gas giant Jupiter, and cosmic dust of star-forming regions.
They love coming out here and being able to take pictures of the Milky Way and distant galaxies and you name it, yeah.
So much light pollution nowadays, it's very difficult to find a spot that is this dark.
Around the outside are prominences.
Dark skies that draw in stargazers from all over the world.
People from the southern hemisphere would say we have the brightest skies and the most interesting objects to look at, but I've come to verify that for myself.
And as the stars twinkle above Merritt, it seems the cosmos are eager to prove the South wrong.
Those are faculae.
South of Valentine, Casey Wandenberg, News Channel, Nebraska.
And be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and X to stay up to date with the latest news in the state. Thanks for joining us here. This is News Channel Nebraska.